Hey up guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. You're with me, the Autistic Biker. Hope we are all doing well and right out there, in good health, or relatively good health and all that good stuff. So I've just been to Penny Pot Cafe. Just for a flat white coffee. Really not fancied much of it, not felt much of it really. I didn't think it was that good, that great. Slightly overpriced as well for what you get. But yeah. And I just thought, we're leaving now, leaving Penny Pot Cafe. So I just thought I'd hit record on Action Cam. The good old Drift Ghost XL Pro. Drift Innovations. So I just had this idea, I suppose you could call it sort of like another little business idea other day. No, in fact it was other week actually. It was a few weeks ago when I had it. Maybe two and a half weeks ago. And basically I just thought next time you get out on bike but you feel like recording, putting a video together, just make another video for your motovlogging channel of it, just putting another business idea out there. But I always make a disclaimer, sort of like call it a disclaimer if you like, which is same as what I've done on almost every one of my other business idea videos on my channel, that I always like to say, even if it's a case of me playing catch up, for example, to put it in layman's terms, that there's already like being at companies or businesses, or just a company or a business, whatever, that's already thought about it absolutely ages ago, whether if that's years ago or even decades ago, you know what I mean? My ideas might be absolutely decades old, if not years old, but I always like to say, if that's the case and it's me playing catch up, fair enough, but at least I can absolutely swear on my life, swear down and swear on my life with so much integrity and honesty and decorum about me, to say that, what, if that's the case, fair enough, but at least I can say, hand on heart, I can say that at least I've thought about all my business ideas that's on my channel from literally my own head. Do you know what I mean? There's no way that like I've got it in my nature, it's not in my soul, body, nature, my whole head, heart, whatever you want to say, for me to deep down know that there's this idea has already been created years ago or decades ago, and I just want to pretend that I don't know about it and then bring it up and then pretend it's come solely, freshly from my brain. Believe me, I am far from a fake ass piece of shit. There's no way that I've got it in me to just be that sort of person. It's not in my nature. If I knew a product, honestly, right guys, was already out there, or not so much a product but just like a service, either like a product, an item, a service, a scheme, basically, if I knew that any business idea that I had already been created and it were out there, believe me, there won't be a video on it on my channel, period, end of. There's no way that I'd do that. So anyway, as they say, don't they, without any further ado, or further ado, whatever the saying is. I've never understood that saying, but I do understand it, if that makes sense at the same time. But yeah, so basically I just had this thought. So anyway, that's my disclaimer done. I've sort of like put my disclaimer out there. So now really getting on track, really getting on track now. So basically, it was about two and a half weeks ago, feels like that anyway, I had this business idea, and let's see what you guys think and reckon to this. So Do you know when you're out there on your motorbike, on your motorcycle, right? Let's say if you're in the middle of nowhere, and let's say if you are on your own, right? And you're not exactly on a dinky 125, you're on like maybe from like a 600 up plus, maybe even 1,000, or you know, you get it, you name it. You're on your own, you're in the middle of nowhere, you're stranded, you're out there in the middle of nowhere, there's no one about at all, absolutely no one about whatsoever. Right, we've all done it, I'm sure we have. You lose a bit of footing, you lose a bit of control, your bike goes to one side, it goes on its side, whether if it's on its left hand side or right hand side, and your heart's in your mouth, and yes, your heart sinks, and you feel so sick. You know what I mean? For people who do know, if you know, you know, if you recognise, you recognise, if you've done it, you just know, you feel sick, your heart's in your mouth anyway. You know you haven't got a cat in hell's chance of picking that motorbike back up on your own. It's a good job you're not in the middle of nowhere, and you've got good friends around you who's willing to help you push it up. But this one, I mean, let's say if you're out in wilderness, no one around you on your own, you're having a solo ride, it goes down on one side due to you just like, you know, losing your footing or however it's going to go down. Anyway, blah blah blah. So I thought of it, like I said, other week, what have you, about creating, bringing out, making, manufacturing, whatever, some sort of like device, if you like an actual sort of piece of good strong metal, you know, that works either like in the slap bang same way as a jack, what you use for a car, you know, to put it on them pinnacle jack points, you know, like to pump your car up so you can work underneath your car. Either works slap bang same way or very very close and similar to a jack. So what you do is you get your very lightweight metal, but yet very strong enough to the point where it's not going to snap, to the point where it can cope with, you know, like tons and tons of weight. You get your like your sort of like your very long, your very lightweight but strong sort of like jack-ish piece of tool art, and it's got sort of like very soft points on, you know, like very sort of like, for example, silicone soft like pinnacle points on, if you like, are you know, because the whole point of getting a bike back up vertical, if you like, from on its side, you're going to be having to touch like for example like petrol tank or exhaust or other various parts of your bike that you don't want getting scratched. So it's got to have like tough, like maybe rubber, silicone, or like composite, like a composite material, you know, like an anti-scratch, scratch resistant material where it's not going to damage your bike. You slip these sort of like triangular shaped like little touch points or wedges or pads, if you like, pads or wedges underneath you know, like some certain parts of your bike, you know, sort of like, look, you know, sort of like in the typical classical shape of like a door wedge or like a door stopper, you know, them piece of triangles that as they form a triangle to do with, like, you know, when they're going down to a point they get more thinner and thinner and thinner. Do you call them like door stoppers or door wedges or something? Wedges, aren't they? Yeah, wedges. They're not door stoppers, they're door wedges. So sort of like them on end of a jack, so to speak. You put it under one or 2 points of your different at different points of your motorbike. And then what you do is, obviously, it would work in the same way as, like, for example, you know, like them, before, like, the electrical pumps actually came out, you could get them very, very old-fashioned air pumps meant for blowing up tyres, you know, for putting air in your vehicle tyres. And then, but then what you did is, to put air into tyres, you actually stood on it, didn't you? Top man. So, you know, like the good old-fashioned days, you know, to do with blowing up, putting air in tyres, you'd, like, obviously, you know, when it were all connected, you'd obviously use your foot, wouldn't you? And you'd constantly just, like, be pumping it with your foot and putting air into tyres. So using that bang same method, that bang same principle, style if you like, that form, that way, whatever you want to say. So then every time you do that though, it's sort of like working like a jack, where it's sort of like pumping and lifting your motorcycle back up for you, then, you know, like helping you out. And then when you've got it so far up, it's very easy then for you to just, like, put it back on its centre stand or its side stand. Basically, sort of like a hydraulic or like a manual, like foot pump jack, helps your motorbike up only so far, to a point where it's up enough and it's light enough for you to just, like, push it up a bit so it's more vertical, and then, like I said, you just pop it on centre stand or side stand. You do that, and then that's it. So as your bike is on its centre stand or side stand, what you do is you obviously sort of like deassemble, if you like, if you want to put it that way, use that word for it. You sort of like descale, or you deassemble your piece of equipment back down to its smallest original size, you know, like its smallest compact size that it can be. And then what you do is you put it back in your, well, whatever, you put it back in your top box, your back box of your motorcycle. You put it back, like, in, you know, however you are, or should I say whatever you are carrying it around with you. You just put it back away, and then basically that's it, away you go. And then literally, if it's only going to be a couple of few more miles down the road, if you're going to lose your footing again, or for whatever reason it's going to happen again, you lose your footing, you slip, oh, goes over on its side, heart's in your mouth again, it sinks, you're stranded, there's no one around you, oh, no problem, lifesaver, get this jack back out, let's get bike back up on its, well, that's the point, let's get bike back up not on its side, let's get the bike back up from its side, should I say. So there we go, just like a little, you know, that's only if it's not me, you know, playing a classic case of playing catch up again. And then there you go. So yeah, just feel free to let me know, or if you want to, what you think and what you reckon to it. Even if you are going to say, Nick, you bloody dimwit, you're bloody slow. Yeah, it is a classic case and a prime example of you playing catch up. One of these devices and, you know, piece of equipment came out absolutely years ago, decades ago even. That's fine, but at least comment and just let me know. So guys, I have kept that as quick as I can, me being me. So I'm going to leave you and respect you. Going to wrap this video up here. Remember, if you are riding, ride safe. Watch out for them other idiots out there on road. And until then, I'll see you at the next one. Take care guys, cheers, ta-ra, bye bye, bye.